Operation Crusader, 18 November, December 30, 1941, was a military operation of the Western Desert Campaign during the Second World War by the British 8th Army, with Commonwealth, Indian and Allied contingents, against the Axis forces, German and Italian, in North Africa commanded by Generalleutnant Erwin Rommel. The operation was intended to bypass Axis defenses on the Egyptian-Libyan frontier, defeat the Axis armoured forces and relieve the 1941 Siege of Tobruk. On November 18, 1941, the 8th Army launched a surprise attack. From 18 to 22 November, the dispersal of British armoured units led to them suffering 530 tank losses and inflicted Axis losses of about 100 tanks. On 23 November, the 5th South African Brigade was destroyed at Sidi Rezegh but inflicted many German tank casualties. On 24 November, Rommel ordered the dash to the wire and caused chaos in the British rear echelons but allowed the British armoured forces to recover. On 27 November, the New Zealanders reached the Tobruk garrison and relieved the siege. The battle continued into December when supply shortages forced Rommel to narrow his front and to shorten his lines of communication. On December 7, 1941, Rommel withdrew the Axis forces to the Gazala position and on 15 December he ordered a withdrawal to Alagala. The 2nd South African Division captured Bardia on January 2, 1942, Salom on 12 January and the fortified Hafaya position on 17 January, taking about 13,800 prisoners. On January 21, 1942, Rommel launched a surprise counterattack and drove the 8th Army back to Gazala where both sides regrouped. The Battle of Gazala began at the end of May 1942. Over the following 10 days, Rommel's forces withdrew to a line between Ajdabiya and El Hasia, maintained his lines of communication, and avoided being cut off and surrounded, unlike the Italians the previous year. As his lines of supply shortened and supplies to Alagala improved, he rebuilt his tank force and so the 8th Army lines of supply became more and more stretched. On 27 December, Rommel was able in a 3-day tank battle at El Hasia to inflict heavy damage on the 22nd Armoured Brigade, which forced the leading echelons of the 8th Army to withdraw. That allowed the Axis forces to fall back to a tactically more desirable defensive line at Alagala in the first 2 weeks of January without having to deal with pressure from the enemy. Auchinleck's determination and Ritchie's aggression had removed the Axis threat to Egypt and the Suez Canal for now. However, the Axis strongholds on the Libya-Egypt border remained, despite Rommel's recommendation for an evacuation by sea and to block the coast road and tie down Allied troops.